Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to each and every one of you. Listen, apologize. I've been off the grid, off radar for a few days. We've been preparing to move Little Miss Crypto Siege off to start her new venture in her new field that she loves, which is cosmetology. And so we've been on having a little road trip and making that happen. And we're gonna, send her off and to a little bit of independence. And yeah, Mr. Crypto Seas is a little nervous, but it's time for Little Miss Crypto Seas to spread the wings a little bit and do her thing, first time apartment or her own apartment, and yeah, all of that kind of stuff, own bills, own all of that. So yeah, interesting time to say the least. I'm I'm excited for her. I'm nervous, obviously. I'll always be that kind of dad, but yeah, so we're on that journey. So I apologize for not getting these videos out, but she is off to do her thing in cosmetology, or she'll be off to do her thing in cosmetology. We got one more day of driving, and then yeah, another week together after that before she'll be it'll be no one in the home but me and Miss Crypto C. So it'll be an interesting time for sure. So I wanted to cut a video, maybe a video or two. We'll see how it goes. Miss Crypto C is off to the Grand Canyon with her brother. Oh goodness. So, but and it's getting dark, so hopefully they are on their way back home. But in any case, so that's kind of what's going on there. I wanted to do a couple of videos on the home front. This 50,000, 37.5 Fed buyback thing, XRP buyback thing is just interesting, right? It is going through the community like crazy, right? A couple of my guys did some videos. Yeah. It's some interesting stuff. I look, I gotta tell you, it's interesting. Cause those, those are my guys. Those are friends of the channel, have promoted channel on Twitter and been guests on the channel, and Jungle comes on the channel all the time, right? Showing his support and adding value and all of that stuff, right? Solomon has been a big supporter of the channel, and right, one of the few people that I've interviewed from the community, right? And yeah, mad respect for both of those guys, mad respect for sure. I don't get, with that being said, I don't get, I'm trying to understand the issue that they're having. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, my brain around it, trying to figure it out, because I don't understand it. I feel as though something's missing there. I don't get it, but we'll get into that. We're going to definitely get into that. The market is doing what the market does. We'll go over that as well. So guys, listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. Look, the market cap is brutal. It's brutal right now. What's that? Does that say 956? Let me refresh that again. Oh, did you guys notice that my intro didn't mess up? Must be that crappy Wi-Fi I got at the home. What is going on? But crazy. Must be part of the reason. Anyway, yeah, so 955 billion total cryptocurrency market cap. Bitcoin dominance is at 41.1% again. Bitcoin is at $20,551 again. Ethereum is at $1,151 again. And XRP is at 32.5 cents again. I mean, the market is just, look, the market's doing what the market does. Yeah, I got that Polygon off. Sold that. at the right numbers. I'll take it. So the market's doing what it does, guys. There, it is kind of what it is. What could I say? We're down from 3 trillion total market cap on crypto. So let's get into my thing and my confusion, because I'm trying to figure out the issue that they're having with this buyback. So I'm trying to figure out, is it the price, or is it that because the Fed would be involved? I'm trying to get that. And I am very, very curious as to whether or not they watched or listened to this interview with Linda P. Jones and Jimmy Valley. It feels like they have not. Feels like, look, I don't know. I didn't ask. But it feels like they haven't listened to it, because he clearly, in his interview, clearly explains what he did and how he came to the conclusion and why he did it. And more importantly, how do you get to, well, probably the most important thing of this interview is this guy's background. And so the guy is a former M&A attorney, right, in the business, mergers and acquisition, right? And so dealing in billions of dollars in cases, but part of that is in the business of evaluating assets, and then setting up and or coming to a contractual agreement on the fair market price and or value for an asset. It was kind of like the business that he was in, right? And I would imagine that was before he became the hedge fund manager. So I'm just like, it feels like they didn't listen to this interview. So what I'm trying to get to is, what part of it is it the Fed? Like, there's no way the Fed's going to get involved and buy something. Like, so the Fed, I don't know, the Treasury, right? Like, just take those kind of entities. Those are, you could say federal government, even though the Fed, United States Fed, is not federal, right? It's not federal for certain, right? And it's not a government entity, right? A bunch of banks own them, right? A bunch of big, powerful banks own them. Now, the Fed does have the ability to kind of make their own money, and the banks that own the Fed have the ability to make their own money. So I'm trying to understand what part of that are they that's giving them so much angst. Because the way I see it, I'm trying to make it make sense from Bitcoin's perspective. You guys know from this channel, if you're fans of this channel, friends of the channel, you know that I am not a big market cap guy. I think the market cap is put together for you and I to have a reference, right? In the real world, it's a different thing. And Jimmy Valley speaks to that in the interview. In fact, like it's a different thing. And I don't know if like people understand that. I did an interview on this. I did a video on this interview before, and I talked about a friend of mine, very, very dear friend of ours. She has a couple of attorneys and her family, right? Her children, right? And one of them is a big, like billion-dollar cases, billions of dollars cases, and the dude's young, right? Billions of dollars, right? One of the most sought out attorneys in New York, in Manhattan, in New York. Like, Like the dude's big kind dude. And she tells us these stories all the time of these kind of deals where people come together and come to agreements on billions of dollars and stuff. Like, and this guy does it, her son does it like all the time. But let's get back to crypto. So um, I feel like whenever people talk about a five, like here's the thing. A 10,000 XRP, it seems like people are so good with that. We know our guy Mark Phillips came up with the, that article where XRP was designed to be a $10,000 XRP. People felt just so comfortable with this 10,000 XRP, right? And I'm trying to get the difference between 10 and 20. And when I say that, I know people immediately think about the market that we have been as retail investors. I don't know if I want to use programmed, but I'll say conditioned to believe is the market. And I'm gonna let you guys listen to Jimmy again. It's only 2 minutes long, 36 13 to minute 38:14. And again, I'm going from my personal experience of a dear friend whose son is in a major, massive law firm who does major deals like the one that Jimmy Valley is talking about, and that Jimmy Valley has done when he was a mergers and acquisition attorney. Like, so I get it. You could say, if you want, you could say Jimmy is not telling the truth. And if you want, you could say that Jimmy's this and Jimmy's that. And Link 2 is pushing him to the front of the room to do this and do that. But you can't say that about my friend and her son. That's how he makes a living every single day out of a major, massive law firm in New York. Yeah. So, in any case, so I'm trying. What I'm trying to understand again is it because the Fed's involved? Is because XRP is not worth $30,000? Is it that? So let's take that part. XRP is not worth $30,000, right? So let's say it's that XRP is not worth 30,000. I mean, 30,000. What? I mean, it's 30 cents, right? So XRP is not worth 30,000. Is that what you're saying? So if that's what you're saying, and I'm not saying that Jungle or to Jungle or to Solomon. What I'm saying is that the thinking that XRP is not worth 30,000. That there's no way that you can say XRP has a value past, current, and future. It doesn't have that value to it. And so if you're saying that, I'm trying to figure out how did we, the market of crypto, agree that Bitcoin is worth 69,000. Right? Because in order for that to be true, of 69,000 Bitcoin, someone had to say it's 69,000 to sell it, and someone had to agree and buy it at 69,000. And guess what? That happened. Well, you could say, oh, you don't know. You don't know if anyone bought Bitcoin at 69,000. Okay, cool. What about at 49,000? What about 40,000? Did Michael Saylor buy Bitcoin? Or at 30-something thousand? Did Elon Musk buy Bitcoin? So are you good with 39,000? Because people were buying, listen, those two dudes were buying a whole, not one 10,000ths or 1/100th of a thousand, if that's such a thing, 1/100,000th of a Bitcoin. They were buying a whole Bitcoin. So I'm asking, and I'm trying to figure it out, are you saying that Bitcoin is valuable because it got priced at 40,000, but XRP is not valuable at 40,000? So I want to understand, because Bitcoin has, right? I'm still trying to find the use case and utility or partnerships or payments or, next level technology. I'm still trying to find some stuff that says Bitcoin is valuable at 49,000 or 39,000. Because if you're saying, look, XRP is not going to get to 20,000 or 30,000, there is no shot of it not is going to get to it, but there's no shot of someone saying that it's valuable, that I agree on that price. You're saying that. Well, no. What I'm saying is a federal government or the Fed or the Treasury or entities like that, they're not going to say that. So what I would say is, then why did they say that about Bitcoin? Well, what do you mean? Well, there's kind of a word on the street is that governments and countries, or countries bought Bitcoin at $39,000. I mean, that's a government. I don't think that they ever thought, well, my God, if I buy Bitcoin, it's going to, what about the market cap? Or I don't think they ever said, well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. There's no partnerships. There's no banking relationships. There's no technology. Where's the use case? What is the utility? And they didn't. They just bought it, man. Like, they bought it at $39,000. They bought it with none. And my point to all of that is, they bought it with none, knowing that that asset, Bitcoin, has none of the attributes of XRP. None. Like none. So is XRP, are you saying that Bitcoin is more valuable than XRP? I'm trying to understand. Are you saying that Bitcoin is more valuable? It has more attributes to it, and a government buying it is justified. In other words, the government says, "Oh, okay, I think that's a fair price," and they bought it. Uh, Inferior technology with little to no use case that failed at payments, failed at payments. And they bought it. It seems to me that they had come to their own conclusion that Bitcoin has value. So I'm trying to understand, how is it that XRP, with all of this real world utility, setting up the arguably the plumbing and infrastructure for a new financial system? It ain't gonna be the only one. We all know that, Crypto Eddie. It's not gonna be the only one, but it is going to be one, right? Real world utility, major partnerships. I mean, recognized for its technology by the World Bank, the IMF, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, G7 nations, recognized for its prowess. The ledger, known, XRP ledger, known by G7 nations, G20 nations. The digital asset XRP, recognized and acknowledged by G20 nations and G7 nations. Central bank governments are building on the XRP ledger. Bitcoin ain't got none of that. And so you're telling me that some government can't say the fair market value based on the potential of this technology can't get to 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000, and this particular government and or whatever agency can't come to an agreement with people experienced in that business, can't come together and put together a contract that agrees that this is the fair market value of this asset because of what it'll do to the market cap? It doesn't make sense to me. And by the way, and I'm gonna let you listen to this, Jimmy is saying that this stuff goes on off market, that these things happen off the market. And he also says that these things happen off the market every day. And he says it happened in his own life as a merger and acquisitions lawyer. Off market, off the oil market, off the crypto market in XRP, contracts were made and agreements were come to, and a contract was made for the agreed price of a fair market value of both oil and of XRP. That's what he said. Now, again, if you want to suggest or intimate that Jimmy's not telling the truth, I'm just telling you what I know from my guy and his mom. Jimmy said it. That kind of stuff goes on every day. So let me play this because again, I started this whole thing, this video off with, I'm wondering if they listen to this video. And some particular entity coming to an agreement with another entity on a fair market thing has nothing to do with coin market. It has nothing to do with CoinGecko. Like it literally has nothing to do with CoinGecko. You know, there's this thing going around right now, my friends. There's this thing going around. Look, I mean, I don't know. What can the Fed do? What has the Fed done that you and I don't know anything about? Probably nothing. Like the Fed probably is in the business of full disclosure and transparency. Do you believe that? Do you think the Fed is in the business? What about United States Treasury? You, you think United States Treasury is in the business of let's tell the American people about every single thing that we do and how we do it? Like every time we exchange products, that they go ahead and disclose all the ins and outs of the transaction, who the other parties were, and what the price were, under just full disclosure. Like, do you think that's going on? So again, I'm trying to understand why it is beyond comprehension that that's possible. Why is that out of the possibility of reality? Because you've never seen the Fed conduct transactions. You've never seen the Fed do business where they just totally publicly every day on their website, they post every single transaction that they're doing. You're pretty confident that that's what's going on? Or is it because there's this thing about, and I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times, there is this thing about that can't happen for me. Again, I just ask you to be honest with yourself and say to yourself, ask yourself, do you feel like the Fed has been completely transparent in their dealings in terms of exchanging money for products, services, or value with another entity? Because we all know they got the money. I'm trying to make a point. I hope, like for me, after I realized, after I read the book, let's put it this way, after I read the book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, right? 1 and 2, right? 2 is better than 1, I think. After I read book 2, I realized, me personally, how naive I really was about what goes on in the real world. In the world that you and I don't know anything about. Like there's a world that you and I don't know anything about. And just because you and I don't know anything about it doesn't mean that it doesn't make it so. So I'm gonna let you listen to Jimmy. Now, I think I said my part about that again enough, but I'm gonna let you listen to Jimmy again. And I just want you guys to just think about, why isn't that possible? let's take a listen here.
Us. There's not a lot of pulling back the onion one layer and going a little deeper. But you're right. The driver for the Fed, think about it as a legacy banking system, to do the transactions, because they were going to be able to set the price in a way that established fair market value for the asset and effectively collateralized the debt, right? So if most debt is synthetic, it suddenly was supported by an asset. But you had to do that in an arm's length transaction. That's part of it. And then, the kind of sub pieces of this is, if you're using resources that are available to you, like agencies of the government, to do things like bring lawsuits, that then effectively puts a cloud on title. The reason XRP today is, I haven't looked at it today, 40 cents or whatever, right? But the reason it's that is because the institutions have no regulatory clarity. They can't really get into it in a material way.
I want you, you saw that there. I want you to listen to, what the world happened to that? Listen to Brad Garlinghouse here. Just want you to listen to what he's saying here, and especially at the end.
Since the SEC filed their lawsuits against Ripple, we have signed dozens of new contracts with banks, with payment providers around the world, and I think only one here in the United States. This lawsuit effectively has stymied the United States customers. Like, well, if the SEC is doing this, and some of these are public companies, like, we're not going to touch this.
So, right, United States companies, right, can't touch it. Lawsuit, right? Cannot touch it. Lawsuit. All right.
Because there's effectively a cloud on title. What is the regulatory treatment of XRP? It's still not. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that definitively, right? We need to come to an agreement on that as a collective marketplace, but nobody knows what that is. So the price that we see right now, I don't know how to say it more plainly, is that ain't the price. We have done transactions in XRP just like we do with barrels of oil, with cubic feet of gas and stuff like that, where we have priced XRP in a contract with another party for values that are far in excess of what it's ever traded for.
Right. And so again, like I started this whole video, like I feel like no one's watching this video and listening to this interview, because the other party on the end of this agreement to buy XRP could have said, hold on a second. Coin market cap says that XRP is 30 cents. but they didn't. And again, you could say, well, this is not the Fed, right? You could say, well, that ain't the Fed. This person just lost his mind. And he goes on to say here, Jimmy Valley, he goes on to say, and vice versa. Not only did he get in an agreement where someone bought it for him above the price that XRP has ever been, which is $3.84, other way around as well. And him purchasing it. And he said, just like oil, these are kind of things that kind of happen every single day. And I think I don't know if he's, again, his background is a mergers and acquisition attorney in the business of determining values for assets and come together on an agreed fair market value. That was the business that he was in. So again, I'm trying to get that part. Are you saying that you don't believe XRP has value? Or are you saying that, well, CoinGecko says XRP doesn't have value? Because I know you're not saying it because of the technology. There's no technology there. I know you're not saying it because there's no real world utility there. I know you're not saying it because the ledger can move anything of value in less than 3 to 5 seconds for less than a penny. I know you're not saying it's because of those things. So why are you saying that XRP doesn't have a value of 35, 37, or 50,000? Like, why are you saying that? But and tell me anything, but please don't tell me because of what the market cap will be. Okay? Because again, this kind of agreement, where he calls it like an arm's length agreement with people in experience and the expertise that make these kind of agreements, this is what they do. He has not said who that entity is that bought this XRP from him. He never said it. Probably can't say it. But there is, and I forgot to say this, but there's been rumor and word on the street like that, and it's not me saying this, there's some conjecture about Jed and who's he selling that XRP to. And I will tell you this, if he is selling it to the Fed, if he is doing it, I promise you're not going to find out the price that he sold it for. I promise you that. If he sold it to the Fed. And again, I ask you, do you feel like the Fed, the US Treasury, just pick one, are in the business of full disclosure and transparency on their transactions? And I'll cover the one thing that a lot of people think, because, and I'm going to end the video with that. I was going to get into Celsius, but I'll get into Celsius next week. I got a big reveal for you on my position with Celsius, and I'll do it on another video. But I'm going to end the video with this. I know a lot of people are going to say, nah, that's going to make a lot of the average Joes and Janes in this world pretty okay. And I will tell you this again. I mean, the XRP rich list thing is gone for some reason. I mean, the XRP rich list, stats lists, and all that stuff, I'm still a little on the like, but why though? why would that list just not be? I believe that list is not like available anymore. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. What I do remember from that list, if that is in fact true, I believe it's true, but if it's not, let me know in the comments. When you look at the risk list, you gotta get the amount of people who do not have a significant amount of XRP. Like, you gotta get that. Like, even with my XRP that's on Celsius, even without having that, 97% of the people will not reach the point of XRP holdings that I still have. Like, like 97%. Like, you gotta get that not a lot of people have a lot of XRP, and that's my whole point. Like, we are such a small, I mean, it's you can't even see it, how small the amount of XRP holders are. You couldn't see it on your pinky. In the comparison of the world, and in comparison of the wealth of the world, it is so teeny tiny. With all that being said, I don't know if the Fed is even considering it, or why they would. Well, I do know why they would consider it. Jimmy just told you why they would consider it. What I'm saying is, I believe that XRP is more valuable than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has a price, and has had a price of 69,000. So I'm never going to let anyone say to me that the greatest digital asset ever created cannot have someone on the other end say to me, yeah, I agree with you. It's more valuable than Bitcoin. Not going to happen. I will never say that about my beloved XRP. I could give a crap about CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. I know what my assets are and the value of them. And I know today that someone else is in agreement with me. I know that. I know it. And if we got people, not government, if we got people buying Bitcoin for $39,000. Yeah. Yeah. Regular people like Michael Saylor and Elon Musk, regular people. We got hedge funds and institutions buying Bitcoins at 39,000. That is a fact. So if those people are going to say, oh yeah, you know what? I think you're right, CoinGecko. Here's $39,000 for a Bitcoin. If they can say that about an inferior technology, what everyone's still trying to figure out a use case, they can say that about my XRP. All right, guys, listen, that wraps up XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope it has been of value to you. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this.
Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win.
They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it.